In last video, we discussed about the Saturn retrograde in Vedic astrology and its effect in your horoscope. Today, we are going to talk about the second house, Bhavat Bhavam. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani, help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. If you have any question, ask me on Instagram. This is my ID. So today we are going to talk about the Bhavat Bhavam. Today's video will be in two parts. In the first part, we'll talk about the second house, Bhavat Bhavam. What do I mean by second house, Bhavat Bhavam? We will discuss about the second house from each house. This will be the part 1, and in part 2, we'll be discussing the house number 2 in context with all other houses. Like second house is second when we count it from an ascendant. But second house is 4th from the 11th, 7th from the 8th, 10th from the 5th, and so many other things. Okay, so second house is not only second, it is open to number of possibilities and significations. So let's discuss that. So first we will talk about the second house from each house. And before we start, if you have not watched the Bhavat Bhavam video, I recommend you to go watch the Bhavat Bhavam video. We have discussed that Bhavat Bhavam concept in that video. I will put a description. I will put a link into the description section, or I will put a link into the I button. So please watch that video before you watch this video. In the part 1, we will be discussing about the second house from each house. So let's get started. So second house is all about the dhana. What is dhana? Dhana is addition. Dhana is surplus. Dhana is a supporting house. Dhana literally means things which we value. Dhana is addition, and there is one more thing called the runa, which is also known as negative. That's why the loans are called as runa. And the gains or the monetary gains or the cash you have is known as the dhana. Dhana gives you the power to get the things which you need. You can get the tangible things with the help of dhana. Second house is second from the ascendant. That's why whenever we talk about the second house as the dhanasthan, and it is all about your family, friends, close family, we are talking about the first house, yourself and your dhana. But each house has a dhanasthan. Okay, so second from the second is the third house. So third house gives strength to the second house. Second house is all about your strength. Second house is all about the support system for the soul. We are born into the ascendant. We have the close family to support us. Even friends can be seen from the second house, but the immediate environment at the time of birth can be seen from the second house. So second house to the ascendant is this. But third house is second from the second. And what is third house? Third house is all about your hobbies. Third house is all about the your efforts. Your efforts will give strength to your money. Okay, makes sense. Third house is also about your communication. Second house is about your speech, and third house is about your communication. So third house gives strength, the dhana, the support to the second house. Fourth house is the house of mother. Fourth house is second from the third. Third house is the house of sibling, and the mother gives strength, support, and value to the siblings. Fifth house is the house of your children. Fifth house is the house of your creativity. Fifth house, by the way, fourth house is also about your heart space, about your homeland. And fifth house is about your Purva Punya. So fifth house kind of give the strength to the fourth house. Sixth house is Dhanasthan for the fifth house because it is second from the fifth house. And sixth house is one of the Artha Trikona houses. Fifth house is the house of the Purva Punya. And the Artha house gives strength to the Purva Punya. Sixth house is also about the diseases, the litigations, and all the court matters and delays, diseases, but more so, it is one of the Upachaya houses which grows with the time, and this gives this Upachaya house, one of the Artha Trikona house, gives strength to your Purva Punya. If you take an effort, the routine effort, the consecutive, the daily efforts, just like Saturn, you are giving strength to your Purva Punya. Seventh house is second to the sixth house. Seventh house is all about the partnership. We know seventh house as more of a house of marriage. Yes, it is, but it is also the house of the business, house of the foreign land. The ascendant is ourself. The seventh house is the other self. First house is the self. The seventh house is the other self. The outer self is about the public, is about your public image, is about your business, is about the commerce, is about the partnership, relationships. And all these, the sixth house things are boosted into the seventh house. When you are constantly working in a routine, be it your business or a service to the people who are less privileged, the seventh house, which is the house of your public image, will be better. The seventh house gives strength to the sixth house because it is the dhanasthana. Eighth house is the second house to the seventh house. Eighth house is the family of your partner. So eighth house is kind of house of your in-laws. Seventh house, your marriage, and eighth house is the dhanasthan for your partner. Okay, so you will have a support system for your marriage, for your partner, and that is the eighth house. So eighth and second are important for marriage as well, for the longevity of the marriage. So these are the support houses for ascendant and the seventh house. So let's talk about the ninth house. Ninth house is the support house for the eighth house. What is the eighth house? Eighth house, apart from being the in-laws house, is the house of occult. What is occult? Occult is nothing but that which is hidden. And what is the ninth house? Ninth house gives the rise to the philosophy, ideology, religion, spirituality. Leader, teacher can also be seen from the ninth house. And this gives strength to the occult science. You have to dive deep into the occult to understand yourself, the true meaning of life, and so on. And once you have this, the ninth house comes. So ninth house kind of give the strength to the eighth house, because ninth is the dhanasthan for the eighth house. So 10th house. 10th house is the dhanasthan. The 10th house gives boost to the ninth house things. You value your karma when you have a conviction. One more time. You value your karma when you have a conviction. Everybody has a conviction. Every person who is doing something is convinced. I'm making this video, I'm making this YouTube video, I'm convinced that the message I'm spreading through this video is necessary for someone somewhere in the world. Someone somewhere in the world required this message to hear. That's why I'm recording this message and uploading it into the YouTube. Okay, so this is my conviction. So my conviction is guiding me to take some action, to record that YouTube video and upload it. Okay, so yes, so 11th house. 11th house is the ultimate dhanasthana, is what I believe. 11th house is the house of labha, and 10th house is the house of karma. 10th house is the highest house of karma, and 11th house is the highest house of Kama Trikona house, that is 3, 7 and 11. So 11 is the highest desire fulfillment house, the Kama Trikona house of the chart. So whatever you are doing, you will get the rewards for that. You will get a dhana, you will get a support, you will get an addition, you will get the surplus in the kind of maybe monetary gains, maybe respect, maybe networking. All the 11th house stuff will be the dhanasthana for the 10th house, the ultimate dream fulfilling house. And now we come to the 12th house, and 12th house is second to the Labhasthana. Can you believe that? The 12th house is the house of loss. 12th house is the house of loss, but 12th house isn't that bad. When you start learning about the Bhavat Bhavam, you will see phenomenal things about the 12th house. We are going to cover that in this series. But as of now, the 12th house is the Dhanasthana of the 11th house. All your Labha, the Dhana for it, the support for it, the highest achievement one can have, the highest possible labha one can have is the liberation from the reincarnation, liberation from the cycle of death and birth, the moksha. 12th house is about dissolving yourself, and that's what becomes the second house, the dhanasthana for the ultimate labha. And when you start learning this, this becomes even more spiritual. So let's start the part 2 of this. We have talked about the second house for all the 12 houses, and now we will be talking about the second house in context with all the houses. We have covered this, we have covered most of this into our second house videos. If you have not watched that video, go watch the 12th house, second house video. So go watch the second house video, but we will quickly go through all the significations. So second house is second from the first, 12th from the third. We have seen third house supporting the second house, but second house is 12th to the third. So your efforts, your parakram is somehow restricted by your family. We have seen so many times in films that villain kidnaps the family of a hero and he becomes helpless. Okay, I always get this analogy when I think about the second house being the 12th to the third. So your family is a restriction for your parakrama. Your second house is the 11th to the 4th house. So your second house also determines the gains of your mother because it is 11th from the 4th house. Second house is 10th from the 5th house. So the career of children can also be seen from the second house. Amazing. This is getting interesting. So second house is 9th from the 6th. 6th house is house of debt, house of delay, house of the litigations and court. And second house is the house of the money, is the house of the valuables, the things which you value, the surplus, the income. The income is not like the 11th house income, but the money you have. So second house is 9th from the 6th. Amazing. Okay. Second house is 8th from the 7th house. Second house is 7th from the 8th house. Second house, the house of money, the house of the surplus, dhana, is from the 6th house, the shatrusthana, from your religion, your spirituality, your ideologies. The dhanasthana is 5th from the 10th house. 2, 6 and 10 is the artha trikona houses. So they are always in trine. So 2, 6, 10 are always in trine, and that is why second house is 5th from the 10th house. Second house is 4th from 11th. So this might tell you about your the relationship of your elder siblings with your mother. I'm just giving you the things which I can see. You might be able to see so many other things which nobody else can, and that will make you special. Okay, so the second house is 3rd from the 12th. What is the 3rd house? 3rd house is all about the self-effort. So yes, we have quickly gone through the second house in context with all other houses. The interpretations which we have just made are the interpretations which I am able to derive from these combinations. I recommend you to practice this on the houses and see how many combinations you can get, how many things you can see. Can you see the career of your elder siblings? Yes. The 10th from the 11th, which is the 8th house. Can you see and you can explore all the houses like this. Today we have done with the second house. We'll be covering all the houses Bhavat Bhavam so that it will help you understand the horoscope at depth for the significations. So yes, this was second house Bhavat Bhavam as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one and and sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.